I paid for my brother's rehab, hired him at my company, and even co-signed his apartment. One morning I came into work and found out he'd transferred $48,000 from the business account to his side hustle. When I called him, he said, "You said you believed in second chances. This is mine." Our parents begged me not to press charges. He's finally motivated again. Don't ruin that. Meanwhile, my employees missed payroll and I missed rent. This all happened in Spokane, Washington. I own a small contracting business, residential renovations mostly. It took me 10 years to build it from scratch. Blood, sweat, skipped vacations, missed birthdays, every cliché you can think of. But it was mine. It supported me, my workers, and even helped a few guys get back on their feet after bad turns in life. Then my brother Chad wrecked it in one move. He's 4 years younger than me. We weren't close growing up, he was always in trouble. Fights at school, sneaking out weed, then pills. He got caught with heroin 2 years ago. He was couch surfing, looked like a skeleton, and got busted for possession. He called me from jail. First time I'd heard his voice in almost a year. "Please, man. I need help." Against my better judgment, I paid for his rehab. I had $23,000 saved to replace 2 work trucks. I used $19,000 of it to send him to this second chance program in Yakima. My parents helped a little, but not much. They're retired and mostly just kept praying he'd change. I was the one who had to fix it. Rehab worked, or it seemed like it. He came out looking clean. Gained weight, acted calm. He even apologized for the past. "You saved my life, man. I won't forget that." I believed him. I got him a job at my company. Started small, answering phones, scheduling estimates. He showed up on time, kept his head down. The guys liked him. After a few months, I let him handle some admin stuff. Light invoicing. Small payments. He said he wanted to learn the business. He also needed a place to live, but no one would rent to him because of his record. So I co-signed for an apartment. Not fancy, but clean and safe. I paid the deposit, too. Looking back, I was doing everything I could to pull him out of that hole. I wanted to believe people could change. Especially family. About a year in, my office manager got pregnant. Complications meant she had to go on leave early. I couldn't afford to bring someone new in, so I let Chad fill the gap temporarily. He already knew the systems. I gave him limited access to the payroll account. Just enough to run checks and make deposits. Still under my approval. At least that's what I thought. Then came the Monday that wrecked everything. I got into the office around 7:30. 2 of my guys were sitting in the break room, looking pissed. "Hey boss, my check bounced," one said. The other added, "Mine too. I just tried to pay rent." My stomach dropped. I opened my laptop, logged into the business account, and froze. A transfer had been made on Friday. $48,276.42. Gone. I clicked for details. It wasn't external fraud. It was an internal transfer authorized by someone logged in from the company IP under my backup login. The destination account was Second Shot Ventures LLC. It took me 2 minutes to figure it out. I called Chad. He picked up like nothing was wrong. "Yo, what's up? Where's the money?" He didn't even hesitate. "I started something. My own thing. It's time I made something for myself. You stole from me. That was payroll," he said. "It wasn't stealing. I moved it. It's still in the family." I could barely speak. He added, "You always said you believed in second chances. This is mine." I hung up before I lost it. The damage was instant. I had to pull every last dollar from my own account, overdraft my personal banking, to make sure my crew got paid. I missed rent. I got a notice on my door 3 days later. Meanwhile, Chad posted a selfie on Instagram with a caption that said, "When you finally bet on yourself, I filed a police report." Grand theft. $48,000 from a business account. When my parents found out, they freaked out. My mom called me sobbing. "Please don't press charges. He's finally motivated. He's doing something." I said he stole. "Why is that okay to you? He's had it so hard. You're stable. You can recover." So because I built something, that meant I was fair game? A week later, Chad served me legal papers. He was suing me. Said I'd promised him a business partnership, and that the money wasn't stolen, it was a partnership investment. Couldn't believe it. It wasn't just about the money anymore. He was trying to wreck my name, my business, my life. But he made a mistake. He thought I'd play fair. He forgot I know how to take things apart, and rebuild from the ground up. The civil suit wrecked my week. I had to find a lawyer. I drained my emergency fund to retain someone who specialized in small business fraud. My lawyer told me flat out, "This is going to be messy. He's banking on you backing down." He was right. The moment Chad filed that lawsuit, he started posting like he'd already won. Pictures in his home office, hashtags like #entrepreneurlife and #reform-not-revenge. Couldn't believe it. He was using the money he stole to build a fake business image. Meanwhile, I was barely hanging on. A few of my clients got nervous after the checks bounced. One backed out of a $30,000 kitchen remodel. Another pushed their job out 6 months. The damage wasn't just money, it was reputation. I built this business on trust, and my own brother torched it in a weekend. Then I got a call from a guy I didn't know. "Hey, is this Kyle?" "Yeah." "Who's this?" "My name's Travis. I did some freelance work for Chad last week. He said you two were partners." My stomach turned. Travis explained that Chad had hired him to design a logo and website for Second Shot Ventures. Said it was a re-entry program for former addicts. He even had a tagline, "A second shot at life through business." "He gave me a check," Travis said. "It bounced. That's when it hit me, Chad wasn't just burning me. He was burning everyone. Using the business name like it was real. Flashy promises, empty checks. He was building a scam on top of a scam." I called my lawyer again. "We can add fraud to the civil defense," she said. "But you'll need proof." I started digging. I went through every email he ever sent on the company laptop. Found deleted drafts, files in the recycling bin. Pieced together messages where he promised investment opportunities to people I'd never heard of. Claimed he and I were co-founders. He even used my letterhead to make it look real. Then I found the worst one. An email to a woman named Denise, apparently someone he met in rehab. He told her I was dying. Said I had 6 months left and that I entrusted my legacy to Chad. He asked her for $10,000 to grow the dream. It was sick. I forwarded every file to my lawyer. She said, "This changes everything." 2 days later, the cops finally called me back. They'd reviewed the transfer and started their own investigation. Said they'd try to seize the new account. I should have felt relief. But then I got a voicemail from my dad. "Chad says you're trying to destroy him. You've always been jealous of how people like him more." Jealous. That word hit me like a slap. I paid for rehab. I'd given him a job. I cleaned up the mess. And now I was jealous? That's when something inside me shifted. This wasn't about money anymore. This wasn't even about family. This was about a liar walking around in my clothes, using my name, wrecking my business, and getting away with it. So I made a plan. My plan started with silence. No angry texts. No more calls. No posts. I let Chad think I was backing off. Let him enjoy his little spotlight. Meanwhile, I got to work. First, I made a list of every person he'd scammed or lied to. Travis the designer. Denise from rehab. A guy named Ron who paid $5,000 for a business mentorship. I tracked down 6 people in total. I asked each of them one question: "Would you be willing to talk to my lawyer?" All 6 said yes. One of them, Ron, gave me something huge, a copy of a contract Chad had made him sign. It had both our names on it. But my signature? Completely fake. I handed everything over to my lawyer. She smiled for the first time. "Now we've got him." Next, I called in a favor from a client I'd done work for the year before. He worked in commercial banking. I asked if he could quietly flag any new business activity under Second Shot Ventures. A few days later, he called me back. "You're gonna want to see this." Turns out Chad had applied for a business line of credit. Using my name, my business license number, and a fake partnership agreement. The bank flagged it, thinking it looked off. But if they hadn't, he would have gotten approved for $80,000. He was trying to go bigger. And then came the real twist. My office assistant, who was back from maternity leave, noticed something odd while cleaning up the old files Chad had touched. She found a file folder labeled Referrals. Inside were printed emails between Chad and one of my competitors. A guy named Leo who owned a similar contracting company across town. They were discussing my client list. Chad had been leaking client info, job bids, timelines, budgets to Leo. I felt sick. I called one of the clients on that list just to be sure. A kitchen remodel we'd quoted 2 weeks before. "Yeah, we decided to go with Leo." the client said. His guy, Chad, gave us a better rate. His guy? I realized then, Chad was trying to replace me, steal my business out from under me. Take everything I built and sell it off piece by piece using my own name and resources. He didn't want to build his own thing. He wanted mine. My lawyer moved fast. We filed a formal cease and desist against both Chad and Leo. Then we filed for an injunction freezing all business under Second Shot Ventures. The court date was set for 2 weeks out. That's when things got ugly. My truck tires were slashed one night in my driveway. No proof it was Chad, but I knew. No one else hated me that much. 2 days later, I came home to find my apartment door open. Nothing stolen, just my files tossed like someone was looking for something. I called the cops, but they said without cameras or witnesses, there was nothing they could do. I started sleeping with a bat next to the bed. Then Chad posted something online that sent everything into overdrive. A long Facebook post tagged with my full name and business. Kyle says he's about second chances. But now he's trying to kill mine. Ask yourself why. Is it because I'm finally outshining him? It got hundreds of comments. Some people believed him, but not all of them. A few old clients saw it for what it was. Couple even reached out to me. One said, I don't know what he's trying to pull, but you've done good work for us. Keep fighting. I wasn't just fighting for money anymore. I was fighting for everything. The court date came fast. It was a gray Thursday morning, the kind that feels heavy before anything even starts. I wore a suit I hadn't touched since a funeral the year before. My lawyer looked calm. I wasn't. Chad walked in 10 minutes late. No tie. Wearing sunglasses indoors. He acted like it was a formality, like none of it mattered. That smug grin was still plastered across his face. I sat across from him, thinking about the time I pulled him off the bathroom floor after he OD'd. The same brother I once spoon-fed applesauce because he couldn't keep food down. Now he looked at me like I was the enemy. The judge asked if there was any attempt at mediation. My lawyer answered for me. There was. He responded by filing a civil suit and trying to secure a business loan using forged documents. The room got quiet. We laid out everything. The forged contract, the bank paperwork, the client poaching, the emails, the bounce checks, even the people he'd scammed. 4 of them showed up in person. One of them, Denise, cried on the stand. I gave him money because he said his brother was dying. I thought I was helping a good cause. Then my lawyer dropped the hammer. She submitted video evidence. Footage from a Ring doorbell camera. A neighbor's. The night someone broke into my place. It showed a man in a hoodie, face mostly hidden. But at one point he turned just enough to reveal a profile. A match for Chad. My lawyer didn't say a word. Just played the clip twice. The judge asked if the police had been given the footage. She said yes. Chad finally looked nervous. When it was his turn, he tried to spin everything. He said the money was a misunderstanding, that I'd encouraged him to be ambitious, that I was jealous of his drive, that I'd promised him a future. But the judge wasn't buying it, not with all that evidence. Then came the best part. My lawyer requested a court order to seize and dissolve Second Shot Ventures entirely. Every dollar in the account frozen. Every asset, computer, phone, even office supplies, counted and held for damages. The judge granted it. He also approved a formal fraud investigation, criminal, not just civil. The police were waiting for Chad outside the courtroom when we left. He didn't say a word when they cuffed him, just stared at the ground. My parents called that night. My mom begged again. Please, drop it now. He's going to lose everything. I said he already took everything. There was a pause. My dad finally spoke. You've made your point. No, I said. He made it. The damage to my business took months to fix. Some clients never came back. My name was dragged through the mud, but I held on. I worked double shifts. I sold my car, drove a beat-up loaner. I fired Leo's company back with their own lawsuit and won a small settlement for poaching and defamation. It wasn't a full recovery, but it was enough. As for Chad, he got 2 years for fraud, grand theft, and unlawful business practices. He pled out to avoid more time. The judge ordered restitution, but I'll probably never see a dime. I went to visit him once. Just once. He looked small. Tired. Like the years caught up with him all at once. You happy now? He asked me through the glass. I said no, but I'm not going to lose sleep over you anymore. He just looked at me, like he wanted to say something, but he didn't. I got up and left. That was the last time I saw him. Revenge didn't fix everything, but it stopped the bleeding, cleared my name. It reminded people I don't fold. I gave my brother everything he needed to stand up. All he wanted to do was steal the ground out from under me, so I buried him with it,